Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself, James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself, James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic and your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today I want to talk about something very important. And that is the current state of marriage and relationships. And how the narcissist and narcissism has brought dating and marriage to a very low state. Here's the sad truth. We live in a world today where marriages aren't happening like they used to. And the few people that do get married are usually divorced shortly after. And sadly, dating to get to know someone and vet them to see if they are a good fit to be in your life is becoming a thing of the past as well. The big question that everyone should be asking themselves is why? Why are these things happening? The other question is, when such topics are somewhat addressed on the news or on daytime talk shows, why are very vague answers given? Or it's blamed on this is just how the new generation handles things. You will hear television personalities saying, well, the new generation isn't placing an importance on marriage. Then a week later, they will say, how more and more people report being lonely. Here's the truth they won't tell you. The people of this generation, both young, older, and in between, majority of them would love to be in a relationship with someone they care for, and someone that cares for them. But there's a big problem. Relationships are mainly seen as a money grab in today's society. Some of us are told to not even think about dating unless we make 6 figures or more. Not so the other person feels secure, but so they can have something to take from us once they are about ready to perform the narcissistic discard on us. You see, lonely people in today's society are either invisible to others, or they are terrified of getting used and robbed of all they have worked hard for. And there are some that are invisible that are indeed hard working, but they so-called don't earn enough money to be considered relationship material. Here's the problem with the advice many of the dating coaches give. Go out there and make a bunch of money, and then you will be ready to date. The problem is, there are some, well, I should say a lot of those that are trying to do this very thing right now, that will never achieve the goals that society has set up for them to achieve. So that means they will never have a relationship. That means they will never have someone love them. You see, gold digging and seeing people as a dollar sign has always been a thing. However, there was a time that society looked down on that behavior. And rightfully so. And during this time, though you had some gold diggers and people walking out on relationships because that person lost their job, or this person got sick, but there were a lot of people in such relationships that stayed and worked hard together with their husband and their wife. Most people 70 years ago were married. And most of them weren't rich and driving Lambos. And the reason why is what a woman was told by society to look for was a man with good character and that was hard working. The rich thing was a myth to the average man and the average woman. And if there were hard times, you didn't go and spread your husband's or wife's problems to the neighbors and everyone else that would listen. You worked on your issues amongst each other. There were times that men back then lost their jobs, or they became sick, or they got hurt, and the wife jumped in and helped. When you look at the elder couples that say they have been married for 60 years, and they look at each other with love, do you think that man lived a perfect life financially during their entire 60 years? Please know that man likely lost a few jobs during his marriage. Likely there were bad investments that happened too. I'm sure they had plenty of setbacks as they had plenty of good times. The thing is, both this husband and wife, they took marriage seriously. They understood that they were blessed to be with someone that actually loved them. I mean really loved them. When they stood up there and said for sickness and in health, and richer or poorer, they can tell you those vows were tested and they came out victorious because the sickness didn't break them up. Nor did financial hardship. And one has to ask, why are those vows? Vows to begin with? It's so you don't fraud someone into thinking you love them when you really don't. We hear all over social media. It's this kind of nature and that kind of nature to leave someone high and dry when they need you the most. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Here's why. If Hollywood celebrities started today to promote sticking with someone when they are down and out, let's say a super popular female celebrity stuck with her husband when he lost it all, and it was shown as the perfect example of what a relationship should be like, guess what? The masses would be metaphorically breaking their neck to imitate this Hollywood example. And the next person would do the same. So on and so forth. But that's not what you have. You have celebrities and musicians telling you to do all kinds of things that are completely bad for you and your life. And they tell you to have no remorse when you use someone. Songs calling people dummies for caring about another person, as the other person in the song laughs about it. This evil example is pumped into the heads of the masses over and over and over. But that's it, isn't it? It's being pumped into your heads. It's not natural. These thoughts are not your own. They are Satan's. And there is nothing more that gives Satan a thrill. And that is to watch you throw your entire life away. There was a subscriber that commented that people seem so robotic lately. And my answer to that is, so many people have adopted the life where they use other people. They cause people all kinds of pain, in order to have whatever it is society says they are supposed to have. They literally take people that loved them, and they may have loved too, and they mistreat them in all kinds of ways. They say horrible things to them. They call them names like loser, dummy, sucker. They cheat on them, and they ruin their lives. And if they aren't a full-on narcissist, that means they are a narcissist light. And they have a little bit of a soul and love under everything. And with each person they hurt, with each person they use, they lose a piece of their humanity. I'm pretty sure most of these people, when they were really young, they had pure decent love in them. And they might have had it as well when they met the love of their life, the person that God sent them to be their husband or their wife. But society got in their ear. Satan got in their ear, promising all kinds of things. Why are you talking to this man? He's a loser. He's a complete loser. Come on. He only makes $50,000 a year. That's nothing. There's a guy down the street that makes 5 times that. The woman listens to Satan. She calls the man she once loved a loser and no good because he doesn't make enough money. And she leaves him for a man she doesn't even know, simply because he makes 5 times what her previous boyfriend made. Little does she know, the guy she is now with is a narcissist, and cares nothing for her. And he's got 7 other women he tells the same things to. People, wake up, this happens every day. Every day. This is commonplace. Satan whispers in this young man's ear, be a savage. This woman that loves you will always be there. But you're young. Be a savage and break her heart by cheating on her with her best friend. Commonplace. Commonplace. And you have 2 people who have now been through a lot. They've seen too much. And they have a stare, a look in their eyes of trauma and sadly evil. They no longer meet someone for the hope that there might be friendship or love, but with the hope they can use this person because they can be used by this person. And if this person turns out to be decent, kind and loving, they remember how they used to be that way. And they sadly take sick pleasure in ruining this person's life. Much like how they felt their life was once ruined. And the cycle goes on and on. I hear on these shows online. Lots of people talking about. I feel like God is going to send me someone that makes what I make, and that is on my economic level. After they threw away. Literally threw away. A handful of decent loving people that God already so kindly brought into their lives. Why did they throw them away? They didn't drive a Ferrari. They can't afford a $2 million house. They don't make over 6 figures. Look. If you took 2 average earning people that were able to vet one another and literally fall in love despite neither being rich, if they put their minds together and invested, maybe they may never drive in a Ferrari, but they very likely could live a very good life, financially and otherwise. But that would take work. That would take love. That would take patience. We are going to be in a very, very stuck and bad place as a society if this mess goes on and goes on. If any of you watch or attend the chat sessions of such dating shows, when the host tells you to get it together before you date, I would ask, what if I never make 6 figures no matter how hard I try? Should I just stay lonely for the rest of my life? Because in the same breath, on these shows they will constantly talk about the top 10%. Well, the top 10% are a top 10% for a reason. Because for whatever reason the other 90% weren't able to get there. Can one say they didn't work hard enough? Sure. However, there are a lot of people that do work hard. And no matter what they do, they may never make $1 million a year or $150,000 in a year for that matter. People need to wake up and think. Think. Society has you looking to scam each other because the more you stay apart, the more those at the top make. Yes. Money is important and is needed to survive. But so is your soul. So is your soul. And that is what Satan wants you to give up. And with each person you hurt, with each person you set up and fraud, you lose a piece of yourself. And you do it for temporary money. Or for a trip. Or to hang out with a so-called big shot. The people that buy into these lies of Satan, they end up becoming very broken people. And sadly when they do get married, all they see that other person for is dollar signs. They can't even see the person. They can't even love the person or attach to this person. This is what Satan wants. To divide and come between the love a man has for his wife. And to come in between the love a wife has for her husband. The question is, how do we change it? How do we fix things? Pray. The first thing to do is pray. The second thing to do is talk about these realities. Because maybe, just maybe, there is someone watching this video, or another video like it, where this person would be about ready to hurt another person. They were about ready to use someone else. Instead of seeing the value of what they have in the relationship they are in. If the person you are with isn't a narcissist, or a sociopath or whatever, and they are kind and love you, ask yourself, what is the real problem here? Who is the real problem here? Is it that you want to be able to brag and act like your friends? Then I would ask, are these people you call friends your real friends? Are they really? Are they really? Then I would look at their lives and their problems. And ask yourself, do you want to repeat the horrible example they have already lived through? When you don't have to, then ask yourself, what is the real problem here? Money. Money. Then ask yourself, is it because the person that you're with can't match up to these crazy standards most people can't match up to? Or is it because this person literally sits at home and does nothing all day? Oh, they are working and working hard. They are trying their best. Then what is the problem? Do you realize that if you work together as a team, God will bless the work of thine hands? Maybe you might not have a Ferrari, but you will likely have a good life. A happy life. A life with integrity. And sadly, those that say they want to be married, they are chasing the same terrible people. Nowhere closer to their goal. And getting damaged with each mile of their lives. When God sent you someone loving and kind, it's really sad. You have someone that wants to love someone, and wants to care for them. And there are people out there that will see that person as a target and will happily use such a person. And that kind of treatment and behavior is cheered and laughed at and seen as cool, when it should be condemned. It's hurting otherwise decent people. People that get swayed by society and by Satan's words and fake promises. And that is why you see so many robotic people. They have not only been hurt a lot, but they have done a lot of hurting to others. And if you have a soul and a heart, if you go around using people, hurting people, and ruining people's lives, it will catch up to you. It will catch up to you. It will make you feel sick no matter what you think. But because you have to keep up with your friends, you will just keep on with your evil. I dare you. I dare you. Give someone a fair chance based on normal attraction. Normal. Meaning, you like the person's character. If the person says they work at the mall, and that's all they have, and they are trying hard, you don't know what that person will become one day. And even if they aren't a millionaire, maybe, just maybe, if you encourage them and they are encouraging you, you both might just make a pretty darn good life together. Character. Judge people on their character. But sadly, because it's all money, 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 and character is out of the window, I believe is the reason why psychopathy and other issues like this is passed down. Because character flaws and even flat out evil is being excused. Just because the person has an expensive car or an expensive watch. But what kind of person are they? The other thing that needs to happen is the reduction of the court's involvement in the relationships of others. Here's something to think about. If there are more intact and decent families, you will have less reasons for prisons. Because people that come from dysfunctional homes have a higher chance of getting into all kinds of trouble. On top of that, if the family is intact and healthy, there will be no need for courts to have involvement in your life. Now, with that in mind, doesn't it make sense why they, along with Satan, create all of these problems? Satan wants to see that young child that should grow up to be someone of substance to end up on the wrong side of the law and in prison, wasting their life away. That gives Satan joy beyond belief. When you are cheating on your wife or on your husband, breaking up your home, Satan rejoices. When someone loves you and you love that person back, but you will trade in that love for someone with money and no love, Satan again rejoices. Because he knows your soul is becoming evil and corrupt. And a big chance for you to make a great family of substance is gone. Satan doesn't want happy families. So Satan will send money troubles your way. He sends sickness your way. Because he wants to see you turn on each other. And then he wants to see you turn on God. If you are a young man and you meet a woman that really loves you and brings a spark to your eyes, and make you feel good, just because your friends and the world say you should be a savage, and to go and cheat on her left and right doesn't mean that you should do that. If you are a woman and you meet a man of modest means, that could be God's gift to you, without you even knowing it. Is he hard-working? Is he kind? If these things are the case, God may have sent this man into your life because he knew this is what you needed. Despite you asked for something or someone else. God knows our needs before we ask. And sometimes he doesn't give us exactly what we asked for because he actually loves us and is protecting us. He gives us what we need. So let's start to get real here and share the truth about all of this. Share the truth about the lie you have been sold about happiness. The happiness or so-called happiness that you were sold will likely dim the light in your heart and soul and turn you into someone you were not intended to be. But someone Satan is smiling ear to ear with each step towards evil that you take. Something to think about. Let's take marriage back. It doesn't belong to evil and those that do it. It was a gift from God so we might be able to survive and make it on this journey we are on called life. So that we might be fruitful and multiply. And that we might be blessed. That's all I have for now. Please tell me what you think in the comment section below. I would like to hear from you. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.